You are here because you are searching for something. You are searching for a key, in switch, in substring, for a key, in switch, in secret code that once spoken will rearrange the world around you. It will make people lean in when you speak. It will make them value your silence. It will grant you the respect that you feel you deserve, but that somehow eludes you. You have been told that power is a game of tricks, a performance. You have been taught the techniques, the perfectly timed pause that is meant to create suspense, the slow, deliberate speech of a movie villain, the unwavering eye contact designed to intimidate. You have been told to treat human interaction like a chess match, where every move is a calculation designed to corner a king. And you have tried them. You have trod them. You have stood in front of the mirror, practicing your lines, your gaze, your stillness. You have walked into meetings, into conversations, into confrontations, armed with these tactics. You have paused. You have spoken slowly. You have held your ground. And for a moment it may have even felt like it was working. You saw a flicker of confusion, of hesitation in the other person. But then, in the moments that truly mattered, the magic failed. The illusion shattered. You were interrupted. You were dismissed. You were overlooked. Why? Because you were a king sitting on an empty throne. You had the posture of authority, but not the substance. You had the script of power, but not the soul of it. A tactic is a hollow shell. It is the armor of a soldier with no army. It can create a momentary illusion, but it cannot withstand the pressure of reality, because true authority is not a performance you put on. It is an energy you radiate. It is not something you do, it is something you are. The world does not respect tactics. It respects truth. And the fundamental truth is this: the battle for respect, the negotiation for your value, is won or lost before you ever open your mouth. The most important conversation you will ever have in any room happens in complete silence. Some of it is a conversation conducted in a language older than words. A language your conscious mind may have forgotten, but that every other person in the room understands with primal certainty. It is the language of the body, the language of presence. Before your well-rehearsed words can even begin their journey from your lips to their ears, their brain, their ancient reptilian brain, the one concerned only with survival and hierarchy, has already asked and answered a critical question. And that question is, are you a threat or are you prey? Are you a force to be respected or an obstacle to be dismissed? Are you an oak tree rooted deep in the earth or a leaf trembling in the wind? This judgment is not an intellectual process. It is a biological one. It is an instantaneous verdict delivered in milliseconds, based entirely on the story your physical form is telling. This is the unseen verdict. It is the sentence passed down upon you by every single person you meet, and it dictates the entire flow of the interaction that follows. You see, we believe we are modern, civilized beings, living in a world of logic and reason. But beneath this thin veneer of civilization, we are still animals. We are still wired with the ancient software of survival. And in the kingdom of nature, as in the kingdom of men, presence precedes power. Think of a wolf pack. The alpha does not need to constantly bark orders to be recognized as the leader. Its authority is in its stillness, in the way it carries its head, in the calm, steady gaze that surveys its domain. Its presence is a physical declaration of its rank, understood by all without a single sound. The other wolves do not challenge the alpha based on what it says. They submit to it based on what it is. You have been trying to win a verbal argument, but you have already lost the biological negotiation. You have been focusing on the sick while failing the audition that truly matters. So the first step is not to learn a new trick. It is to unlearn a fundamental lie, the lie that your words are the primary source of your power. Cetun are not. Secondary. Cetun is perio, or your authority, your right to be heard. It is born in your physiology. Today's broadcast through your posture, your breathing, and the way you occupy space. This is not philosophy. This is This is the architecture of authority. And today we will become the architects. We will stop decorating the empty throne, and we will start building the foundations of a true kingdom within you. We will begin, not with what you should say, but with how you must be. Are you ready to learn the language your body was always meant to speak? Let us begin then with the two silent broadcasters of your internal state. The two pillars upon which your physical presence is built or demolished. Your posture and your breath. First, your posture. Look around you. Observe the shape of the people you see. A slumped posture, with curved shoulders and a sunken chest, is a physical apology for one's own existence. It is the posture of a body trying to make itself smaller, to take up less space, to become invisible. Fool. It signals to the world that you are carrying a weight, not the weight of responsibility, which straightens the spine, but the weight of defeat. It is a non-verbal broadcast that says, I am not a threat, I am not important, I have already surrendered. Conversely, an upright posture, a straight spine, shoulders pulled back, chest open, is the biological signature of confidence. It is the posture of a body that is unafraid to meet the world. It physically occupies space with intent. It is an evolutionary signal of health, vitality, and a readiness to act. Your spine is the axis of your power. To straighten it is the first, most fundamental declaration of self-respect. It is you telling the world, and more importantly, telling yourself, that you are here, that you matter, and that you are not afraid. But posture is only the frame, the breath. Your breath is the life force that animates that frame. It is the governor of your mind. It is the unseen current that dictates your emotional and chemical state. And most of you live in a state of subtle, chronic suffocation. You take shallow, rapid breaths from your upper chest. You do this when you are anxious, when you are stressed, when you are speaking quickly to avoid being interrupted. This is the breathing of prey. It is the body preparing for flight or fight, flooding itself with adrenaline, narrowing its focus, preparing for danger. When you breathe this way, you are sending a constant low-grade panic signal directly to your brainstem. And everyone in the room, on a subconscious level, can feel it. They sense your unease. They sense your lack of control, and their primal brain categorizes you as weak. The master of the self, the one who commands authority, breathes differently. Their breath is deep, silent, and originates from the diaphragm. It is the breathing of an animal at rest, secure in its environment. It is the breathing of a predator, calm and observant, conserving its energy. This is the breath of control. And this is not simply ancient wisdom I am sharing. It is verifiable, modern science. You want the neuroscience of authority? Here it is. In 2017, a team of researchers published a landmark study in the respected scientific journal Frontiers in Psychology. The study was titled The Effect of Diaphragmatic Breathing on Attention, Negative Effect and Stress in Healthy Adults. The researchers, led by a scientist named Mohammed, wanted to measure precisely what happens to the human body when it shifts from shallow chest breathing to deep diaphragmatic breathing. They took a group of healthy adults and measured their physiological markers for stress. They measured their heart rate variability. They measured their brain activity. And most critically, they measured their cortisol levels. Cortisol, as you know, is the body's primary hormone of stress. It is the chemical messenger of anxiety, of panic, of the feeling of being overwhelmed. The participants were then trained to practice deep, rhythmic breathing from their diaphragm for a set period of time. After the intervention, the researchers measured everything again. The results were not subtle. They were undeniable. The participants' cortisol levels plummeted. Let me repeat that. Through the simple conscious act of changing the way they breathed, these individuals were able to directly control and reduce the amount of stress hormone flowing through their veins. They had found a physical control panel for their own anxiety. What does this mean for you, for your search for authority? It means everything. When your cortisol levels are high, your thinking is clouded. Your decision-making is impaired. You are reactive, not proactive. You are in survival mode. When you consciously shift your breathing to be deep and diaphragmatic, you are not just calming your nerves. You are performing a chemical intervention on yourself. You are telling your body on a cellular level that you are safe, that you are in control, and that there is no immediate threat. From this state of internal calm, a new reality emerges. Your mind becomes clear. Your voice finds its natural, deeper resonance. Your movements become more deliberate. You are no longer reacting to the world, you are acting upon it. Authority is born in this internal peace. It is born in the calm that comes from knowing you are in command, not of the room, not of the people around you, but of the universe within your own skin. Stop trying to project an image of confidence. It is a fool's errand. Instead, focus on creating the state of confidence within you. Straighten your spine right now as you listen to this. Pull your shoulders back and take a slow, deep breath, feeling your belly expand. Do it again. This is not a trick. This is a transformation. You are, in this very moment, rewiring your own nervous system. You are replacing the chemistry of fear with the chemistry of command. This is the foundation. And from this foundation, we can now build. You have now laid the foundation. You have straightened the frame of your temple and calmed the chemical sea within. You have taken conscious control of your internal state, shifting it from the panic of prey to the peace of the predator. But the question remains, what do you do with this newfound stillness? How does this internal command translate into external authority? This is where we return to the idea of the pause, the silence. In the hands of the weak, silence is an awkward void, a vacuum of uncertainty that they rush to fill with meaningless words. It is a sign of hesitation, of a mind scrambling for an answer. But in the hands of the master, in your hands now, silence is a weapon. It is a tool. It is the ultimate expression of control. The pause of the unprepared man and the pause of the centered man may look identical from the outside. They may both last for 2 seconds, but they are worlds apart. One is born of fear, the other is born of power. When you were living in that state of shallow breathing and high cortisol, the silence was terrifying, was it not? It was a space where you feared you would be interrupted, judged, or dismissed. But now, from this place of physiological calm, silence becomes your ally. It becomes your territory. It is no longer a void to be feared, but a space to be owned. Think of it this way. Most conversations operate at a frantic, reactive pace. A question is asked and an immediate answer is expected. It is a game of verbal tennis, a rapid back and forth. The person who controls the rhythm of this game controls the entire interaction. When someone asks you a question, especially a challenging one, they subconsciously expect you to conform to this rhythm. They expect a slight spike of anxiety, a quickening of your speech, a hurried response. But you will not give it to them. Instead, you will receive their question. You will hold their gaze, your body calm, your breathing deep and even, and you will give them nothing. You will give them nothing. You will give them 2 seconds of deliberate, thoughtful silence. In that 2-second gap, a profound shift occurs. Their brain, which was expecting a fast-paced rally, encounters a wall of calm. It scrambles. It asks, what is happening? He is not flustered. He is not intimidated. He is thinking. You have just done something extraordinary. You have broken the rhythm. You have seized control of time itself within that conversation. You are no longer playing their game. They are now playing yours. They are waiting on you. They have leaned in, not because of a cheap trick, but because your calm, powerful presence has convinced their primal brain that whatever comes next is worth waiting for, that the words which will emerge from this silence will be words of substance. This pause is no longer a tactic to appear powerful. It is the natural consequence of being powerful. It is the space you now require to consult your own clear mind. It is the time you grant yourself to discard the first, reactive thought, and to choose the second or third, more intelligent thought. It is the difference between a frantic soldier firing a machine gun in all directions and a master sniper who takes a deep breath, calculates the wind, and knows that one single, well-placed shot is all that is required. Silence is not the absence of communication. It is a different and more powerful mode of it. It is the canvas upon which you will paint your words. A frantic speaker throws a bucket of paint at the wall and calls it arts. The master uses a fine brush and deliberate strokes. And this leads us to the final and perhaps most crucial principle of spoken authority. It is the principle that separates the truly respected from the merely heard. It is the economy of truth. The world is drowning in words. People speak to fill space, to broadcast their existence, to soothe their own anxiety. They talk in circles. They use empty phrases, they ramble. They believe that the more they say, the more they will be understood, the more they will be valued. This is a fundamental error. It is the logic of the insecure. The one who has true authority, the one who has mastered their internal state, does not need to flood the air with words. Their presence speaks for them. And so, when they do choose to speak, their words have immense weight. Each one is chosen with care. Each one lands with impact. When you speak less, people listen more. When you use words as a scarce resource, not as an infinite commodity, people treat them as valuable. They know you are not speaking simply to hear your own voice. You are speaking because you have something of substance to say. You have used your silence to distill your thoughts into their most potent form. This is the gravitational pull of authority. It is not loud. It is not aggressive. It is quiet, dense, and heavy. It bends the room towards you. Stop trying to shout to be heard over the noise. It is a losing battle. Instead, become the source of the silence. Become the one whose words are the event, not the background static. Your journey is almost complete. You have rebuilt your physical foundation. You have taken command of your internal chemistry. You have weaponized silence. Now you must learn to speak. So how do you learn to speak? You do not learn by adding, you learn by taking away. You learn to speak like a sculptor, not a painter. A painter adds endless layers of color, hoping to create an image. A sculptor takes a block of stone and removes everything that is not the masterpiece. Your thoughts, your ideas, they are the masterpiece. The rambling, the hesitation, the filler words, they are the excess stone that you must chisel away. Your first action is to declare war. Your first action is to declare war. Your total and unrelenting war on filler words. Every 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 like you know or I guess that leaves your mouth is a crack in your armor. It is a small confession of your own uncertainty. It tells the listener that you are not fully convinced of what you are saying, so why should they be? These words are the verbal tics of an anxious mind. But you are no longer the anxious mind. You have calmed the chemical seas. You have no need for them. Practice speaking in clean, declarative sentences. Record yourself. Listen back and count every single piece of verbal clutter. Then record it again and again. Chisel it away until the core idea stands alone, powerful and pristine. Your second action is to invert your speech. The insecure mind explains its way to a point. It lays out all the reasons, all the data, all the justifications, and finally, timidly arrives at its conclusion, hoping the listener has followed along. The authoritative mind does the opposite. It speaks in headlines, not in footnote. State your conclusion first. The best course of action is this. We will move in this direction. The truth of the matter is simple. Make your point with calm conviction and then let it hang in the air. Let it occupy the space you have created with your silence. If they need clarification, they will ask. If they need evidence, they will inquire. You will then provide it, not as a rambling defense, but as a calm, deliberate explanation. You are not seeking their approval, you are providing them with your clarity. This is the trinity of authority, the three pillars upon which your kingdom is built. A body that claims its space, a mind that commands its peace, and a voice that honors the weight of its words. A body straightened by self-respect, altering its own chemistry. A mind calmed by deliberate breath, creating a space for true thought. A voice sharpened by silence, delivering words with the force of a hammer strike. Each pillar supports the others, creating a feedback loop of ever-increasing power. The more you control your physiology, the calmer your mind becomes. The calmer your mind, the more potent your silence. The more potent your silence, the more weight your words carry. The more weight your words carry, the more weight your words carry, the more respect you command, which in turn reinforces the confidence in your physiology. This is the engine of authority. Share, built it. Now you must use it. Do you see now? It was never about a trick. It was never about a secret line or a clever tactic. It was never about them. It was always about you. It was about building an internal world of order, calm, and self-mastery, so profound that it cannot help but radiate outwards and shape the external world around you. The world does not yield to the man who shouts the loudest. It yields to the man whose silence is the most profound. Because in his silence we sense his control. In his control we sense his power. And in his power we willingly grant him our respect. This is not a lesson. It is an awakening. It is an invitation to stop seeking approval and to start building your own internal throne. It is a call to become the master of your own state, the governor of your own mind, the architect of your own presence. So I ask you not to try this, but to decide. Decide who you will be the next time you walk into a room. Will you be the leaf trembling in the wind, hoping not to be noticed? Or will you be the oak tree, rooted calm and immovable, whose very presence defines the landscape? The choice was always yours, but now you understand the science, the architecture, the how. Make a vow to yourself, not to me, not to anyone else. A vow that you will no longer apologize for your existence with a slumped posture. A vow that you will no longer broadcast your anxiety with shallow breath. A vow that you will no longer dishonor your thoughts with weightless words. Seal this decision. Make it real. A thought is a mist, an action is a stone. Let your first action be a public declaration of your new state of being. Write in the comments below, not for me, but for you, these 4 powerful words. I am the architect. Do it now. Let that be the first deliberate strike of the sculptor's chisel. The first act of building the kingdom within. Your kingdom, your authority, your presence. Begin.